a wonderful crowd. Councillor Alec Burns, Carlow Town Council, members of Carlow Town Council, Carlow County Council, Michael Brennan, Town Clerk, Nolan and Chairperson of the Board of Carlow County Museum, and members of the Board of Carlow County Museum, Mr. Pat O'Neill, President of the Carlow Historical Archaeological Society, founder members of Carlow County Museum, Kevin Kennedy and Eddie McDonald. Ladies and gentlemen, as Museum Curator, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all here this evening to the Museum for this special unveiling of a plaque to the founding members of the Museum. The Museum is now in its 40th year, having opened in December of 1973. In a few moments, I'll call upon Nolan and Chairperson of the Museum Board, to address you. She will be followed by Councillor Alec Burns, Carlow Town Council, and then Pat O'Neill, President of the Carlow Historical and Archaeological Society, will address you, and then he will unveil the plaque here beside me. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to address you the Chairperson of the Board of Carlow County Museum, Nolan.
I think that's all right. Good evening, everybody. Friends, the museum was founded and opened in 1973 by the Carlow Historical and Archaeological Society, which was then called the Old Carlow Society. Then during the 1990s, the Society and the Town Council, as it was then, from now on of course it would be the County Council only, they began discussions on developing the museum, which resulted then in January 2002, the Council taking over the operations of the museum. Through the Council, the museum's operation have been professionalised, particularly by the appointment of our curator, Dermot Mulligan. And it has been allocated this wonderful building and receives an annual budget from the County Council. Considering the efforts the Society had undertaken over the years to operate the museum on a voluntary basis, it was felt by both the Council and the Society that through the medium of a museum board, the Society would still be able to provide a useful input into the development of the museum. So, the Museum Board was established in 2005 and consists of 7 members, 3 of who will be members of Carlow County Council, 3 members from CHAS, that's the Carlow Historical Archaeological Society, and a county manager's nominee, with the museum curator acting as the secretary to the board. So that is 7 people. The board does not have a direct role in the day-to-day management or operations of the museum, but it formulates the museum's policies. The chairmanship of the board rotates on an annual basis between the county council members and the CHAS representatives. So it just happens to be me this year. So nationally then, the museum is involved at the Heritage Council's Museum Standards Programme of Ireland. Now this programme, the first of its kind in the Republic of Ireland, sets out to improve all aspects of Ireland's museum practice. It's a voluntary programme and has attracted involvement from across the cultural spectrum, from national institutions to small volunteer-led organisations. There are 34 agreed minimum standards for the Museum Standards Programme. So eligible participants will normally apply for assessment of the interim standards within 3 years of starting the programme. So participants will normally have up to 5 years to achieve these standards. So Carlow County Museum is the first museum from the county to join that scheme. Now last October, the museum underwent its first assessment, and the summary comments of the assessor states, and I quote, "The museum has a sense of energy. It is manifestly well run and has the active and visible support of the Town Council and Carlow Historical and Archaeological Society, and especially of the Museum Board members. Overall, there should be no difficulty for the museum in progressing rapidly through accreditation." That's the end quote there. Carlow County Museum works closely with the National Museum of Ireland, particularly in the area of archaeological finds. The National Museum of Ireland is the authority responsible for the care of all archaeological artefacts. Through the designation status, Carlow County Museum has the authority to collect, and display archaeological artefacts from the county on behalf of the National Museum of Ireland. And now there are a number of, you can see here, archaeological objects on display here, while upstairs there is a special exhibition called Journeys in Time, the Archaeology of the Carlow Bypass, which features a selection of the archaeological objects found in the lead up to the opening of Carlow, the M9 motorway in 2008. Now finally, I would like to say how honoured I am to be here today as Chairman of the Museum Board, 40 years on from the vision, foresight and sheer dedication of the founder members, some of whom are here tonight. I think that the reality of the museum is their monument. Thank you.